It's Wii Wednesday, gamers, and you know what that means. It's time for a Wii video, but since I am still fixing those 100 broken Wiimotes that you guys forced me to buy, we're going to go over the worst Wii games, the top 10 worst Wii games. We already did a video on the top 10 best Wii games, so this felt like a natural sequel. Right? Let's just watch the video. For number 10, we have Just Dance 2, the squeakquel to Just Dance. If you saw my top 10 Wii games video, then you know the original Just Dance was actually included in that, which is because I enjoy Just Dance for the most part, at least as a concept or as a game or whatever. But Just Dance 2 starts to go a little bit downhill compared to the first game. First of all, the Bird is the Word song is not in this game. There's no Cotton Eye Joe. I mean, it's just worse songs in the original game. So the whole game is worse, since that's the main point of the game. The gameplay is basically the same as the first game, so I guess if you are deaf and you want some new variety for dance moves, then you might actually enjoy the gameplay of this, but in general, I think this is the inferior version of Just Dance. The series obviously peaked with the first game, so I don't want to be too mean to old Just Dance 2, but it is the 10th worst game on the Nintendo Wii. For number 9, we somehow have yet another Just Dance entry on this list, being Just Dance 3, the squeakquel to the squeakquel. If you thought Just Dance 2 was bad, this took everything it did wrong and did it even more. I mean, the song selection compared to the first game is just abysmal. Like, who wants to dance to California Girl spelled with a U on the Wii? Not me, that's who. Now, this game does have Da Funk by Daft Punk, which is the only good song in this entire game, and that's what's saving this from being way higher on this list. Because we all know Daft Punk is actually good, so I mean, if all these games had Daft Punk, then there would be no Just Dance on this list, so Just Dance 2 and 3, take notes. Either way, this is just yet another worse iteration of the original Just Dance game, and it's one of the worst games ever made. If it wasn't for Daft Punk, it might be the worst Wii game literally ever made, but it got lucky at only being the 9th worst Wii game of all time, so thanks Daft Punk. You saved this piece of doo-doo and let it become, well, what's something that's like mildly bad and not doo-doo? I don't know. You made this game better, Daft Punk. Thanks. Coming in at number 8, we have yet another Just Dance game, being Just Dance 4. Now, you might be shocked at this entry because it actually has quite a few decent songs like Call Me Maybe, Umbrella featuring Jay-Z, Call Me Maybe, and even Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. You know the one, the Rickroll song. How could that be bad? Just Dance 4 even has Gangnam Style, but it's DLC, so you have to pay extra for that, meaning that's actually a bad thing. But if Gangnam Style was included into the base game, this wouldn't even be on this list. This would have been in the top 10 best Wii games. So with all that information, you're probably wondering, hey, why is this game even on the worst games list anyway? It doesn't seem that bad. Well, first of all, its song selection, while good, still is not on the same level as the original, but that alone is not why it's one of the worst Wii games ever. I mean, we can't expect Bird is the Word to be on every Just Dance game. We all know they have to have new music, so it makes sense. The real reason it's on this list is because this is the one Just Dance game that Katie played. You remember her? The terrible person from my worst chickens from every video game video? You did watch that video, right? Well, even if you didn't, all you need to know is that Katie is evil, and the fact that she owns this game makes it the 8th worst game on the Wii. For number 7, we somehow have yet another Just Dance game, being Just Dance 2014. I'm not even gonna get into the song selection because the main reason this game is so bad is because they changed the way they numbered the games. If this was called Just Dance 5 like it should have been called, then maybe it wouldn't be on this list. But they just had to start going by years like this is some sort of sports game, and it's not. Dancing isn't a sport, it's a video game. At least in this context, you know what I mean. Plus, it's still not as good as the original, which is why it is the 7th worst game on the Nintendo Wii. For number 6, we depressingly have yet another Just Dance game, and this is the worst one yet. Just Dance 2015. Though I guess this being a video on the top 10 worst Wii games ever would imply that this is the worst one yet, but anyway. The only good song in this entire game is Happy by Pharrell, and that song was played way too much back in the day, especially when this came out, so I can't even enjoy the one good song in this game. Not to mention, this edition of Just Dance features Lady Gaga, and I have nothing against Lady Gaga, but I don't know if you're a big C-Man fan, but he pwned Lady Gaga in his diss video years ago called Big C-Man versus Lady Gaga.
This is what I think of Lady Gaga's music. You suck.
So they should not have featured her in this game after that. She got pwned. Her career's over. Also, this game came out in 2015 and was still on the Wii. I mean, the Wii U had been out for at least 3 years at this point, yet they still had to push this garbage video game on the Wii? That's despicable. Just like Despicable Me, which featured the song Happy by Pharrell. Anyway, Just Dance 2015 is the 6th worst Wii game of all time. With the first half of games out of the way, let's hope that the second half of games looks better. Okay, I guess that's not possible since this is a top 10 worst games video and that's not how top 10's works, but at least hopefully there'll be less dancing. We can all agree on that, right? I'm sick of Just Dance. Starting off the worst half of this list, you can probably guess what we have next. Yep, you guessed it, Just Dance 2016. First of all, 2016 was just a bad year in general, and I think they should have just refrained from making a Just Dance this year since the world has really gone downhill ever since 2016. Well, at least until the release of the Nintendo Switch in 2017. Not to mention, this has one of the worst song selections of all time. How could you possibly just dance to this? I know it's called Just Dance and not think about what you're listening to in dance, so maybe I am overthinking it, but I can't dance to Chris Brown. That guy beats women, and that's not cool, guys. The only reason this isn't the worst Wii game of all time is because Lights by Ellie Goulding is in this game, and that was actually a pretty popular song, especially at the time, so you know what, that's actually a pretty good entry and the one saving grace of Just Dance 2016. But that one great addition is negated due to the fact that Lady Gaga makes a return. Didn't you learn your lesson, Just Dance? I mean, look, I have nothing against Lady Gaga herself, but Big C-Man basically ended her career as a musician, so Just Dance should be ashamed of featuring any of her music. Just Dance 2016? More like Just Dance 20 Pristine. Wait, that isn't an insult. More like Just Dance 20 Pristinely Bad. Haha, take that 2016 Just Dance. You are the 5th worst Wii game of all time. Coming in at number 4, we have the infamous Just Dance 2015. Now, all in all, this game isn't as bad as you might think, but this is just where the series starts to get more repetitive. I'm tired of dancing at this point, and it's 2017, the Nintendo Switch just released. Why is this still being released on the Wii? It just feels like an uninspired cash grab, which was foreshadowed by the Madden naming conventions that started back in Just Dance 2014. I mean, this game is just a lazy, uninspired sequel, and playing it feels like Groundhog Day. It's just way too repetitive. Do something new, Just Dance. Anyway, yeah, Just Dance 2017 is the 4th worst Wii game on the Nintendo Wii. Coming in at number 3, we have the infamous Just Dance 2018. Now, all in all, this game isn't as bad as you might think, but this series is really just starting to get more and more repetitive. I'm tired of dancing at this point, and it's 2018. The Nintendo Switch has been out for a full year. Why is it still being released on the Wii? It just feels like an uninspired cash grab, which was foreshadowed by the Madden naming conventions that started back in Just Dance 2014. I mean, this game is just a lazy, uninspired sequel, and playing it feels like Groundhog Day. It's just way too repetitive. It's so repetitive that this entry is giving me deja vu. Just do something new, Just Dance. I mean, Just Dance 2018? More like Just Dance do something new. Anyway, this is obviously the 3rd worst game on the Wii. For the 2nd worst game to ever release on the Nintendo Wii, we have Just Dance 2019. I mean, this one just speaks for itself. You probably saw this one coming before you even clicked on the video, so let's just move on to number 1. The absolute worst video game ever released for the Wii is Just Dance 2020. I mean, you thought those other Just Dance games were bad? This one takes the cake. Not only did it release on one of the worst years of all time, but it was also so bad that this was the last Just Dance game to ever be released on the Wii, which is impressive considering how horrible the game's predecessors were. Also, just a question, why was Just Dance 2020 released on the Wii anyway? The Switch has been out for 3 years, what's happening? To be honest, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with schools using Wiis in their PE programs to make kids play Just Dance, but I don't know how true that is, so I'm not gonna claim that, but I think that's why it was still being released on the Wii, just for anyone actually curious. But I mean, why else would they keep releasing games for the Wii anyway, if that isn't true? It's not like they were good. The first one was great, and then every other entry just slowly became worse. Except for Just Dance 4, but then of course Katie had to go and buy that one, and I still can't forgive her for the chicken incident, so I can't enjoy myself while just dancing to Just Dance 4. But we're talking about Just Dance 2020 right now, and this game just stinks. If I had to guess, I would bet 2020 is probably the least danced year in the past century, and this game was probably a huge contributor to that due to being so horrible. Could you imagine opening up a Christmas present from Santa Claus in 2020 and it's Just Dance 2020 for the Wii? I'd be devastated. I'd do anything but Just Dance. This is obviously the worst game ever released on the Wii, and I think this is the one instance that everyone on the internet can agree on. Frick you, Just Dance 2020. You are the worst game to ever release on the Wii. I was looking forward to Just Dance 2021 too. That could have been the comeback of a lifetime, but you had to ruin the entire series and any chances for another Wii release. Shame on you, Just Dance 2020. Shame on you. Well, those were the top 10 worst Wii games of all time. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, this was kind of a troll video, but I haven't played every Wii game ever made, so I can't really do a top 10 worst Wii games without being disingenuous. But if you really want to know about the top 10 actual worst Wii games, go bug Tales of Taylor. He's the guy I stole Wii Wednesday from, and he has played literally every Wii game as far as I'm aware, so subscribe to PokeTot and ask him about Wii games. Ask him about the bad ones specifically. And tell him I'm not giving him Wii Wednesday back. It's mine. I'm keeping it. He doesn't do it enough anyway. I do it every day, every Wednesday, every week. You know what I mean.